How big of a role does credit play in your entrepreneur endeavor?
So in mine, it made nothing. I have tax problems, so I have no credit. I'm cashing out.
It can help.
Well, nah, credit is everything. That's the reason why families can pass along power, and financial wealth. Because in any business, if there's inventory that needs to be bought, you need credit, because you need the credit to go buy it, to make it, to ship it. You don't make the money until you actually create the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have money to make money. So when there's orders, you need credit. Like, I was reading an article the other day about the girl that was dressing the Duchess, and it's a story I tell everybody. She said when the Duchess started, that's the Duchess, right? The Queen's, the princess, whatever. Like, she wore the girl's dress.
Dressing
the girl wore her dress.
Okay.
And it put her out of business because there was such a demand that she couldn't pay the factory. She couldn't pay and it put her out of business. So in business, actually success could be your downfall.
You said that in the fashion game, the culture.
I said it and I read it. I showed Rock. I said, now look, this is exactly what I've been telling everybody.
Right.
It happened.
Because you said that about when you initially did Rachel Roy. You didn't want everyone to have it.
I couldn't afford it.
And at first, I couldn't process that, because you would think like anybody.
If I get a 30,
whatever you sell.
Well, number one, if I get a $30 million order and I ain't got $30 million, how am I gonna make the order?
Absolutely.
And then if you can't make the order, they're not ordering again. They're giving that real estate to somebody else.
Right.
But number two, once everybody got it, nobody wants it.
So once they stop looking at it, they turn the next. Who else got it?
If you have in a store, you have a certain amount of real estate in the store, and a store owner wants every inch of that real estate to be able to be profitable. So if you you can only give that space to a certain amount of people. So they give you the space and you can't deliver. They lost money because somebody else could have been in that space that could have made some money. So they're not going to give you that space if you're not going to be able to bring nothing there. Period. And if it gets late, you got to ship that shit in. That costs 4 times, and they sell it off price, which means cheaper. So now you kill your margin, or they don't pick it up at all, and you end up with dead stock. And that's the death of any business, dead stock. So everyone's at Magic right now. Everybody wants to hang out with the celebrities. A store owner will come in and order $100,000 worth of shit just to get a picture and a hug. But 4 months later, there's no law that says he got to take that order. So you go, I made you $100,000 worth of shit. Well, I don't want it no more. There ain't shit you can do.
It's not hot, or it may not be hot anymore. Whatever.
There's nothing you can do. You just made me make $100,000 worth of work, and you ain't gonna take it now.
That's almost like that movie Horrible Bosses too.
Yeah.
They made all the.
But that happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Vampire Life. That's where all our margin would go. It'd be like, I'm not doing this shit no more, because you'd end up with dead stock. People that order shit that don't pick it up.
And then you have to sell it. You have to sell it half price.
You have to liquidate it. And that's another thing. Like when you see a product that's selling half price, it makes your brand look bad, because that means it's not selling. So you don't want your shit to be going off price, because it means, like you saw when they did that to Ivanka Trump, they started selling that shit for $1. They wanted her to look bad. They started saying, fuck it, something that costs $100 now costs $1. So now if it's $1, a person that got enough money to spend $100 on it's not going to do it. Now you got to get it from a different tier of distribution of person. You got to go down to the lowest tier distribution.
Now, but you talked about that in fashion game. That's interesting, because when you said it a year ago to me, I didn't understand that philosophy, because you'd think that anyone that's doing business wants their clothes or whatever they're doing to sell and go crazy. You want people to just keep purchasing things.
Okay, let me put it to you a different way, so someone can understand.
Right.
If we're on the street and we selling drugs, and a guy comes up to you and says, yo, I need 10 kilos of cocaine.
Right.
But you only got $100 in your pocket.
Yikes.
And you know that if you sell him those kilos, you could make about $10,000 per kilo on it at that price, whatever he's gonna buy it. But you ain't got the money to buy it. So unless someone's gonna give it to you on credit and then let you give it consignment and give it to him and then you pay him, it ain't no way you can go get to work. And no one's giving nothing on consignment. This ain't the street. Niggas ain't giving you no $1 million worth of
I'm gonna give this cotton on consignment.
Yeah, nobody giving you no textile on consignment. It's just not happening unless there's a relationship, unless it's your uncle, unless you're from a certain fucking synagogue. You know what I'm saying? And that industry. Other than that, you can't do it. Unless you got good credit or a couple of houses you can leverage. Now you got houses and shit and things that you can leverage, like loan against, like art. And real estate.
That's what you said you did with your diamond, with the jewelry and stuff too.
Yeah, sometimes I would have to leverage the diamonds and shit. It's part of the game.
Okay.